Now let's answer our practice set number 2 for the multiple choice question type. This example comes from the Cambridge IELTS book number 8, test number 2, and this time we're going over reading passage number 3. So this is our reading passage number 3. Let's read the title of this article just so we have a better understanding of what this reading passage is going to be about. So it's going to be about the meaning and power of smell. Great. Now let's go down to our questions. Here we have 4 questions, number 33 to 36. We're going to start off by first marking our keywords. So here in number 33, it says, according to the introduction, we become aware of the importance of smell. So that's 33. Number 34, that's quite easy to find. It tells us exactly where we're going to find our answer. It tells us that it's going to be in paragraph B. So for this question, we just have to go straight to paragraph B and then look for the keyword experiment. Number 35, all right, here we also have it laid out. It tells us we have to look in paragraph C. The question asks, what is the writer doing in this paragraph? And then finally, 36, again, it says paragraph E, tells us where to look for it. Study of smell, atmosphere, and that's about it. So those are going to be our keywords for these questions. The next thing that I would do at this point is I would put a check mark next to all the easy questions so that I can answer them first. But actually, in this case, we don't really have to do that because all of these questions are quite easy. They're easy because it tells us that 33 is going to be in the introduction, 34 is going to be in paragraph B, and then 35 paragraph C, and 36 paragraph E. So all these questions are pretty easy. So you know what I'm going to do for this? I'm just going to go in order and I'm just going to answer all of these questions one after the other. Let's start off with number 33. We're going to go to the introduction and look for this keyword. Aware of the importance of smell. So let's look for that. We're going to come up here and this is the introduction. I believe this is the introduction that they're referring to. So let's start off here. Okay, here it says something about the sense of smell. And here I see aware of the importance. Aware of their importance, that's right there. Okay, so we're going to be finding our answer to this question somewhere around here. So I'm going to underline this part. This is going to be our matching sentence right here. Let's read it. Let's start reading from over here since this is the sentence in which our keyword appears. For the most part, however, we breathe in the aromas which surround us without being consciously aware of their importance to us. It is only when the faculty of smell is impaired for some reason that we begin to realize the essential role the sense of smell plays in our sense of well-being. Okay, now let's go down here to our question and let's go through these answer choices. Let's see which one of these answer choices is the best fit. So option A says that we become aware of the importance of smell when we discover a new smell. No, it doesn't say anything about that. We experience a powerful smell. Doesn't say anything about that either. C says our ability to smell is damaged. All right, I do see something about that. The ability to smell is damaged. Okay, the ability is damaged. So if you come up here, you might remember that here it says that we become aware of the importance of smell only when the faculty of smell is impaired. Impaired means to not function anymore or to not function correctly anymore. So here it says the sense of smell is damaged, meaning that it doesn't work properly because it has been impaired. So let's mark this answer. It's going to be C. Great. Now let's move on to our next question, number 34. By the way, for this question, in fact, for all of these questions, I'm not going to be numbering them. You may remember that typically what I do is I put the question number next to the matching sentence so that I know where to look for the other answers since these questions go in order. But I'm not going to do that here because it's not needed. Because here it tells me exactly where I'm going to find my answer. It tells me that this is in the introduction, then paragraph B, then paragraph C, and then paragraph E. So there's no point in putting a number next to the matching sentence for these questions. Let's move on to number 34. It says, the experiment described in paragraph B. Okay, so there's an experiment that we're looking for in paragraph B. So this is paragraph B. Let's look for experiment. Some sort of an experiment we are looking for. Okay, here I see the word experiment. So that is our keyword. I also see the word test, which is a synonym for experiment. So we're probably going to find our answer right here. That's going to be probably our matching sentence. So let's start reading this sentence from the article. It says, most of the subjects would probably never have given much thought to odor as a cue for identifying family members before being involved in the test. But as the experiment revealed, even when not consciously considered, smells register. Okay, so here it's talking about how smells are always registering in our brains, in our noses. So let's see what our answer choices are. A says that the experiment shows how we make use of smell without realizing it. Yeah, that's what it's been talking about. It's been talking about how smells register even when we're not aware of these smells. That's what it has been saying. It says that most people never give much thought to smell, to odor, but the experiment showed that even when people don't consciously notice smells, the smells still register in their brain and they still influence the way in which people think or the way in which people behave. It registers, it has some kind of an effect. So that's what we've been talking about here. So the answer is going to be A. Pretty sure of that, but let's just run through the other answer choices just to make sure. B says that the experiment demonstrates that family members have a similar smell. No, it doesn't say that. It mentions family, but in a different context. Option C says that the experiment proves that a sense of smell is learnt. No, it says nothing about learning. And then D says that the experiment compares the sense of smell in males and females. Nope, says nothing about males and females. So the correct answer is A. Let's do number 35. 35 says, what is the writer doing in paragraph C? This one seems a little bit more vague, a little bit more ambiguous. I'm going to come back to this one later on. Let's do number 36 first. I feel that number 36 will be easier because in addition to paragraph E, it also mentions other keywords that we can find and that will make our job easier. So let's go to paragraph E first and let's look for these keywords: study of smell and atmosphere. Here we are. Okay, we're looking for study of smell. So research is a synonym for study. Research on smell. Okay, here it mentions something about researchers. Talks about smells. Okay, and then more smell. What I would like to do right now is I just want to go through the keywords in the answer choices right now. That's what I want to do. Because I've located the right spot. I'm just not sure where I'm going to find my matching sentence. I don't want to read the whole paragraph. So what I'll do is I'll just come to the answer choices and I'm going to start marking some of the keywords here because I'm going to look for these keywords in our paragraph E. Okay, something about researchers, something about smell. Most smells are inoffensive and smell is yet to be defined. So these are the keywords that I want to look for in paragraph E, and I want to see which answer choice is going to be the best fit. Accurate physical reaction, measurement of smell, researchers, yet to be defined, inoffensive. Let's see if we can find those. Here it says something about unanswered questions. Here it says yet to be answered. I remember that these were our keywords because here it said yet to be defined, and that is just synonym language for yet to be answered, yet to be explained, or yet to be understood. All of those are synonyms. So it says something about yet to be answered. Then here it says it uses another type of synonym language. Here it says unanswered questions. And then here it mentions again more stuff about questions. So let's go ahead and read this part. We're probably going to find our answer in this sentence. Probably somewhere around there. Maybe even this sentence where it mentions unanswered questions. So let's begin here. Significant advances have been made in the understanding of the biological and chemical nature of olfaction. Olfaction just means related to smell, okay? In case you don't know what that word means, olfaction means something related to smell, related to your nose, something like that. But many fundamental questions have yet to be answered. Okay, so here is saying that we know a lot about olfaction, about smells and so on, but still many fundamental questions have yet to be answered. So the correct answer to this, to E, is going to be D. Smell is yet to be defined. Let's go through the other answer choices just to make sure. A says the measurement of smell is becoming more accurate. I see nothing about accuracy here. Researchers believe smell is a purely physical reaction. It says nothing about physical reaction, guys. C says that most smells are inoffensive. Doesn't say anything about that either. So the correct answer is going to be D. Smell is yet to be defined. Now let's do our final question, question number 35. 35 says, what is the writer doing in paragraph C? Alright, so for this question, guys, what this question is asking you to do is it's basically asking us about the gist of paragraph C. What is paragraph C really about? So one thing that you could do is you can mark these keywords and then look for those keywords in the reading passage. Let's go ahead and try that. So supporting research, proposal, rejecting common belief, and then limitations, describing limitations. Let's see if we can find any of these keywords. Limitations, rejecting common belief, research, proposal. Let's see. We're going to check paragraph C. So here we're going to start scanning. Okay, here I see synonym language. It says sense of smell is feeble and undeveloped. Feeble and undeveloped. That seems to me to be talking about limitations. That is synonym language for limitations. Let's keep scanning more just to make sure that that our answer is correct. Let's see. Okay, so I have a feeling that this is going to be my answer because I haven't seen anything about A, B, or C. I don't see anything about supporting other research. I don't see anything about a proposal or rejecting common belief. Although it could be this, it could be rejecting common belief. So just because I want to make sure if it's C or D, it's either going to be C or D, because I know it mentions limitations, but let's come back here. I want to make sure. Guys, you know what I want to do right now? Is I want to get the gist of this paragraph. I want to get the gist of what this paragraph is about. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do something that I was going to teach you later down the road, but actually is going to be useful for us for this particular question. So what that little trick is if you want to understand the gist of any paragraph, all you have to do is just read the first sentence, in the paragraph, and then read the last sentence. If you do those two things, then you're going to get the gist of what the paragraph is about. If you have time and if you are a fast reader, then I recommend that you also read the second sentence. The second sentence is also an important one. So there are certain types of questions in which the question will ask you about what the paragraph was about. It's going to ask you for the gist of the paragraph. These are more harder questions and out of order questions, so I was saving them for later. So I will talk about that in much more detail when we get to those question types. But right now, all you have to know is that when you want to find out the gist of any paragraph, then just read these sentences. Read the first and the second sentence, or you can read the first and the last sentence. But if you are a fast reader and if you have time, I suggest that you read all three sentences, the first, the second, and the last. That's going to give you the gist of the paragraph. So guys, that's what I'm going to be doing here because I'm not really sure about my answer choice. Is it going to be C or D? I know it's going to be one of these two, but I want to make sure. And this question is asking me about what the writer is doing in paragraph C. So really, I need to understand the gist of the paragraph. So I'm going to go ahead and read the first two sentences and then the last sentence. Here we go. In spite of its importance to our emotional and sensory lives, smell is probably the most undervalued sense in many cultures. Okay, so we know that smell is undervalued in many cultures. Then it says, the reason often given for the low regard in which smell is held is that in comparison with its importance among the animals, the human sense of smell is feeble and undeveloped. Okay, so that's where it was talking about limitations, right? So it's been talking about limitations, so that's why I thought that maybe the answer is going to be D, describing limitations. But I want to understand the whole gist of the paragraph, so I also want to read the last sentence. The final sentence says, our noses are able to recognize thousands of smells and to perceive odors which are present only in extremely small quantities. Alright, so in this sentence, what they're doing is they're telling us about the remarkable ability of our noses to smell thousands of smells, to even smell odors that are present in very small quantities. So over here you see it says that the nose is remarkably acute, remarkably acute. So actually, the correct answer is not D. That's not the correct answer. The correct answer is C. The correct answer is C because it is rejecting a common belief. Guys, what is the common belief? The common belief is that the nose is limited, it is undeveloped. People in many cultures undervalue the sense of smell. So it is limited in humans. Us humans are not really using our olfactory senses our sense of smell to the best of its ability. And for that reason, it's just undeveloped. But then it goes on to say that actually the nose is a very remarkably acute organ and that we can smell thousands of smells. So it's correcting the limitation, it's correcting the belief, it is giving us the correct information. It is rejecting the common belief that the nose is useless or maybe that it is very limited. It's rejecting that common belief. It's saying, no, the nose is not undeveloped. The nose is not a useless organ. It's very useful and it's very acute. It can smell thousands of smells. So those are our answers for this question set. We are now done with practice set number 2. I hope that you now have a good understanding of how to answer this question type, the multiple choice question type. In the next video, I'll be talking about the next type of question that you might see on your reading test.